I've been asked by Kirsty to briefly describe the different keys to finding tracks in my different books. The mammal track and sign book, the bird track and sign book, and the invertebrate track and sign book for Southern Africa. Each of these three different books has its own type of key. With the mammals, what I chose to do, working specifically with the padded feet of animals, was to divide those padded feet based upon size and literally key them out from species to species, moving to animals with claws, animals with lobes behind the feet, the number of toes, and literally starting at 6.5 centimeter in size. If you follow each of these keys, it'll bring you to an individual different species. And there are various keys for different sizes of padded foot. When it comes to the antelope, it's a little more complicated. Here I chose to try and work with animals that are very specifically distributed in very limited geographical areas, such as northern Namibia or KwaZulu-Natal and Mozambique. There are much more commonly spread animals as well, which are also mentioned in this. So literally you work there on size and the distribution of the footprint, or the distribution of the species footprint that you're searching for. So that's literally smaller tracks under 4.5 centimeters of antelope and antelope track that are larger than that. So those keys will then lead you to a page and you'll have a chance to try and figure out what that species is. The bird track and sign book for Southern Africa was a slightly different project. The understanding of pads and structures on birds' feet is not so well known, and it's also not so easy to see. So I took general foot structures. There is a section right in the beginning of the book which basically tells you how to use this book. And in that how to use this book section, there are very clear descriptions of bird foot morphology. That is the shape and design of the feet. So using the different shapes and designs of the feet, you can go back to a table where you simply take a measurement from the front toe to the back toe of your bird footprint. Make sure you go to the correct type of foot structure, for example, anisodactyl, syndactyl, palmate. These are various types of structure. Using your length, you then go from smallest to largest until you find the right size footprint that will correspond with your palmate foot structure, and that should lead you to a page. That will give you a chance then to decide whether that is your species and check a little bigger and a little smaller just in case. With the invertebrates, it was much more complicated. Now suddenly we had animals that didn't necessarily even have feet. So to determine what they are, I broke down a sort of a contents key, but it was all in words. So for example, if you're looking for a track or a trail in sand, soil or other substrates, you might start in chapter number 2. If you're looking for a tunnel, a burrow, or another excavation in sand or soil, that could be chapter 3. And it carries on through different structures until eventually, if, for example, you identify an egg or an egg case, it'll give you a whole selection of different structures. So eggs which are carried by an adult, or in some cases, the egg itself is absent, or eggs without egg cases, eggs with a selection of common butterflies, and so on. So there are different types of subheading that should help you to get to the pages you need.